Hello guys! Welcome to Psychology of Freedom. Ngayon naman i-discuss natin, pag-uusapan natin is about anxiety. So very relatable and very much needed topic nowadays. So ano ba yung anxiety? Mahirap siyang i-define, mahirap siyang i-explain kasi baka magkaroon tayo ng misconception na worries lang pala yan or stress lang pala yan or weakness lang pala yan. Pero not so much. So ano ba talaga yung anxiety? Anxiety is related to fear, pero hindi sila pareho. So let me tell you the distinction between the two. So for fear, halimbawa, tumawid ka sa pedestrian lane, tapos may biglang mag-overspeed na sasakyan papunta sa'yo. So, syempre, magte-tense up yung muscles mo, mag-increase yung heart rate mo, bibilis yung breathing mo, and mapapatakbo ka. That's fear. Merong clear na threat in front of you. Kaya mo siyang i-pinpoint. Pero with anxiety, I'm sure lahat tayo makaka-relate dito, di ba? Halimbawa, na nag-aaral pa tayo, and nag-announce yung teacher natin ng graded recitation. Ano nangyayari sa atin? 'Di ba ganun din, bumibilis din yung tibok ng puso natin, nagte-tense yung muscles natin, medyo nagiging shallow yung breathing natin, nagiging fast yung breathing natin. Pero, yung threat is not yet in front of you. Hindi mo pa siya nakikita. Unlike dun sa overspeeding na car na kitang-kita mo na agad na andyan yung threat, you can easily recognize the threat in front of you. Pero with anxiety, hindi clear yung threat kasi it's just a potential threat. Hindi mo pa alam kasi kung ano yung mangyayari. So, with example ko kanina na parang merong graded recitation, ano bang mangyayari? Mapapahiya ka ba? Tatawagin ka ba? Makakasagot ka ba? Babagsak ka ba? Iisipin ba ng classmates mo na wala kang alam? So, yung threat is not obvious. Hindi pa kasi siya nag-i-exist. Kaya maraming tao ang nagdi-dismiss din ng anxiety dahil nga ah, hindi pa siya yung threat is not yet concrete. Pero anxiety is very real to the person experiencing it. Kaya nga tulad ng fear, 'di ba? Nagkakaroon din ng mga physical symptoms na tumataas yung heart rate, nagiging rigid and tense yung muscles. Uh, minsan pa may mga nagkakaroon ng hyperacidity, may nasusuka, 'di ba? Kasi yung brain natin, whether real yung threat natin, whether nasa harapan natin yung threat or possible threat siya in the future, it reacts the same way. Trabaho ng brain natin yan for our survival. 'Di ba? Yan yung way ng brain natin para maprotektahan tayo. So ano pang difference between fear and anxiety? So sabi natin yung fear, 'di ba? Merong immediate threat na nakikita mo, kita mo na yung uh, threat sa harapan mo. Pero with anxiety, potential threat lang siya, hindi pa siya nag-exist. So in short, yung fear nasa present moment. Yung anxiety, it's always about the future. So another example, 'di ba? Para mas maintindihan natin, 'di ba? Pag nakita mo na sunog na yung bahay mo, that's a clear threat. Present moment yan, nangyayari na yan. Pero yung anxiety naman, halimbawa, meron kang presentation. 'Di ba? Yung presentation mo, it will take place after 4 days. So you can have a degree of anxiety few days before your presentation. Or halimbawa, magte-take ka ng licensure exam. Siyempre, bago yung mismong date ng licensure exam, meron kang anxiety niyan. Or, for example, job interview. So, few days before those things, pataas na pataas yung anxiety mo. So, anxiety is always future-oriented. Pangatlong difference, sa fear, pag wala na yung immediate threat, nawawala na din yung fear. So, short-lived siya. Pero with anxiety, it can be prolonged. Kasi yung concern mo or worries mo is about the future. So, yun nga, very abstract. While yung fear naman is very concrete. So, halimbawa, nakakita ka ng snake na gumagapang. Pagka umalis ka na dun sa place na yon, di mo na nakikita yung snake or wala na yung snake sa harapan mo, nawawala na din yung fear mo. Nagre-relax na yung nakaka-relax ka na. Pero with anxiety, same physical response na parang fight or flight, nagte-tense up yung mga muscles mo. Pero, you can experience it indefinitely. So, halimbawa, uncertain ka about the future, kung ifa-fire ka ba sa trabaho, mawalan ka ba ng trabaho, makakasurvive ka ba, meron ka bang malalang sakit, or tulad nung pandemic, 'di ba? Ang daming taong anxious, 'di ba? Kasi di nila alam kung ano yung mangyayari in the future. So yung anxiety, since it's about the future, it can go on and on. Kaya mahirap siyang mawala agad kasi ganyan yung nature ng anxiety. And pag nag-out of control siya, meaning nagkaroon na ng dysfunction, hindi mo na nagagawa ng maayos yung trabaho mo, hindi ka na nakakapasok sa school, yung relationships mo naaapektuhan na, diyan na pumapasok yung disorder. Nagiging anxiety disorder na siya. Spectrum kasi yan, 'di ba? From mild to moderate to severe. So yung mild form of anxiety, it's very helpful and it's very healthy. Yun nga, katulad nung halimbawa ko kanina, 'di ba? Pag may exam ka or pag may presentation ka, dahil anxious ka, magpe-prepare ka talaga. Pero if it's severe, if it's a severe form of anxiety, it can be debilitating. Yun nga, 'di ba? Hindi ka na masyadong nakaka-function kasi grabe yung sleep disturbance, hindi ka na makatulog, may insomnia ka, nagha-hyperacidity ka, nagkakaroon ka ng shortness of breath, stomach issues, 'di ba? Ganyan yung more severe form of anxiety. Pero let's leave anxiety disorders for later discussion. Doon muna tayo sa mild form of anxiety which we experience, which all of us has experience. So, bago tayo pumunta sa solution, syempre, intindihin muna natin kung ano ba yung nangyayari sa brain. So, let's say na first time mong magpe-present or magpa-public speaking sa harap ng 100 na tao. So, syempre, unconsciously, ang naglalaro sa isip mo, what if may masabi akong mali? What if di nila ako magustuhan? What if mapahiya ako? What if hindi ko maalala yung sasabihin ko? So, sabi ng brain mo, parang na-interpret ng brain mo as parang alert, may danger, may danger. So, syempre, nagkakaroon ka na ulit ng physical manifestation, bumibilis na yung tibok ng puso mo, pinagpapawisan ka, 'di ba? Nagiging shallow yung breathing mo, anxious ka na. So, para mawala yung anxiety mo, ang ginawa mo, hindi ka na lang pumunta. Hindi ka na lang nag-present, hindi ka na lang nag-public speaking. So, syempre, since nawala na yung potential threat, sabi ng brain mo, naiwasan na natin yung potential threat, naiwasan na natin yung danger, kalma na tayo, relax na tayo, we're good. Pero sa moment na yon, nagke-create yung brain natin ng neural pathway. In simple terms, natututunan ng brain natin na dangerous yung ganong situation, na dangerous yung anything that has to do with public speaking. So, kung dangerous yung situation na yon, iiwasan ko yun ulit next time, sabi ng brain. So, paano ko siya iiwasan ulit? Patataasin ko yung anxiety. Patataasin ko yung anxiety one level higher. Para ma-alert ka, para iwasan mo siya. Kaya every time na ma-encounter mo yung public speaking and iniwasan mo siya, lalong nare-reinforce sa brain natin or sa brain mo yung na public speaking is a threat. It's dangerous and you need to get away. So, yun nga, that's the mechanism of our brain. Pero, diba? Pero, what if in spite your anxiety, ginawa mo pa din, nag-present ka pa din, nag-public speaking ka pa din, nagsalita ka pa rin in front of 100 people, kahit na medyo nanginginig-nginig pa yung kamay mo habang nagsasalita. And then, nakasurvive ka. Ano namang mangyayari sa brain pagka ganon? Nagkakaroon ulit tayo ng bagong neural pathway. In simple terms, natututunan ng brain natin na, di ba nga, na-survive mo yung public speaking. Natututunan ng brain natin na, parang hindi naman pala to life-threatening. Hindi naman pala ako kakainin nito. I guess it's fairly safe naman pala. So, ini-interpret ng brain natin na yung public speaking is actually safe. So, next time na may encounter mo yung ganong situation, yung public speaking, hindi na patataasin ng brain mo yung anxiety. Kasi nga sabi niya, hindi naman siya life-threatening. So, you'll actually have lesser and lesser anxiety. So, yan, ganyan yung nangyayari sa brain. So, may idea na siguro kayo kung paano siya i-manage. So, how do we manage anxiety? Number 1, yung unang kailangan na gawin natin is to learn how to sit with it. Lagi ko yung sinasabi, di ba? Sit with the feeling. Kasi nga, nasa-strengthen yung emotional muscle natin of tolerating yung mga uncomfortable feelings. Pero ang problema, dahil it's so threatening para sa atin, sobra siyang overwhelming para sa atin, na sobra tayong uncomfortable, gusto natin mawala agad-agad yung anxiety. Kaya ang ginagawa natin, dinidistract natin yung sarili natin, manonood tayo sa Netflix, manonood tayo ng manga, or magbabasa tayo ng manga, kakain tayo ng mga unhealthy na pagkain, iinom, or iniiwasan natin na ma-encounter yung mga anxiety-provoking situations kahit na it will help us grow. So, anxiety is not the problem. It is our attitude towards anxiety that is the problem. So, paano yung sit with it? You just feel your anxiety kasi it's very normal. It's a normal response. Sintomas lang siya na sinasabi sa'yo, something is important. This needs your attention. So, ayan, just like any other feeling, anxiety will come and go. So, we don't need to be scared about anxiety. We don't need to feel anxious about the anxiety. So, ganyan. And remember, suppress emotions, suppress feelings actually grows stronger. So, ayan, that's number 1. Learn to tolerate anxiety. Wag mo siyang i-push down, wag mo siyang i-suppress. I-feel mo lang siya. And then, pangalawa, do not avoid situations that can trigger your anxiety. Ang tawag dito sa psychology, exposure therapy. Sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, the more na umiiwas tayo, the more na ini-interpret ng brain natin na life-threatening yung situation na yon. Kaya tinataas niya yung anxiety level natin every time. Pero the more na ina-allow natin yung mga ganong situation, in spite being anxious, the more na nare-realize ng brain natin na, yun nga, it's actually safe. Hindi natin yun ikakamatay. So, therefore, hindi niya na patataasin ng ganon yung anxiety level natin. Next time na may encounter natin yung ganong scenario or ganong specific situation. Pero, it depends din sa level ng anxiety mo. If you know na yung anxiety mo is severe and may pagka-debilitating na, then you might want to avoid yung mga malalaking triggers. Halimbawa, yun nga, let's go ulit dun sa public speaking. Meron kang anxiety about public speaking and hindi ka makafocus, hindi ka talaga makafocus, nagkakaroon ka ng mga stomach issues, nagsusuka ka, na-overwhelm ka, talagang you really feel sick kapag ka na-encounter mo yun. So, in short, di ka maka-function. You might want to avoid it if it's overwhelming. So, i-avoid mo muna yung public speaking in front of 100 people. Pero, you can try speaking muna with 3 people, 'di ba? Sa safe space muna, like family members. You start small and then you work your way up. So, ganyan yung pag-manage ng anxiety. Yung pag-manage ng anxiety actually takes a lot of self-awareness. Kasi 'di ba, kailangan alam mo kung ano sa tingin mo yung magiging anxious ka, pero at a level lang na kaya mong i-tolerate. So, ganyan yung exposure therapy. You don't start big. Otherwise, magkakaroon ka ng negative experience and it's so negative na yung brain mo, tinaas yung anxiety mo through the roof. So, yan. Yung pangalawa, expose yourself little by little and tignan mo kung ano yung kaya mo. And then, pangatlo, ano nga yung anxiety? It is future-oriented. So, it's a what if. What if mapahiya ako? What if mawalan ako ng trabaho? What if may sakit ako malala? What if masira yung bahay namin ng bagyo? What if mawalan, I mean, iwanan ako ng jowa ko, di ba? What if, what if, what if? Nasaan tong mga thoughts na to? Is it in the past? Is it in the present? Is it in the future? 'Di ba? Nasa future siya. Andito ba yung future? 'Di ba? Wala. So ano nandito? Yung present moment na makikita mo, oh, kasama ko yung loved ones ko. Oh, wala akong sakit. I feel okay. Oh, hindi naman nasisira yung bahay namin ng bagyo. 'Di ba? So, kailangan natin bumalik sa what is instead of living and focusing so much on the what ifs. 'Di ba? Bumabalik tayo sa present moment natin. And we realize na, hindi naman on fire yung bahay ko. Wala namang tsunami. Hindi ko naman to ikakamatay. So, okay yung present moment ko. Hindi man siya perfect, pero I'm okay. So, dyan pumapasok yung mindfulness and meditation. Kaya kasi tayo na-anxious kasi disconnected tayo sa present moment natin. We're living in the future even though yung present moment natin is really okay. It might be boring, it might be uncomfortable, pero it's okay. We're okay. So, ayan, come back to the present moment. And yung last, exercise. Kung meron kang mental health issue and hindi ka nag-exercise, what are you doing? 'Di ba? Exercise, sabi nga nila, is free therapy. Ano bang ginagawa ng exercise? 'Di ba pinapataas niyo yung dopamine natin, yung serotonin natin, yung endorphins natin. And ano ba yung mga role ng mga chemicals na to? It regulates sleep. So you sleep better. It regulates mood. So you have a better mood. It regulates motivation. So mas motivated kang gawin yung mga kailangan mong gawin. And may role din na pinaplay to sa memory and learning. So nag-increase yung mental sharpness mo, di ba? And also, merong study wherein kinumpare nila yung two groups. One group is not exercising, sedentary lifestyle, and another group is nag-exercise 20 minutes a day. So, they found na yung mga nag-exercise, lesser yung anxiety, mas productive sila, mas kaya nilang mag-concentrate, mas kaya nilang mag-focus, hindi sila easily na-distract. So, exercise is highly undervalued in mental health. So, yan. So, syempre, kailangan mo rin, syempre, i-equip yung body mo with a balanced diet. So, ayan na muna. I'll talk more about this in the future. So, I hope may natutunan kayo. Yung anxiety, yung mga anxiety-provoking situations, hindi natin yan completely avoid. What we can only do is to equip ourselves so that we can better manage our anxiety. So, ayan. Thank you for listening and watching. If you have questions, just comment down below and see you sa next video.